I'm not scared of death. I've had some people reach out to me recently regarding concerns for my safety. I am a trans girl, and I've had people express to me their concerns for my safety this time, which is completely valid. It is a scary and dangerous time to be alive as a trans person, especially in the United States. We could be killed, we could be harassed, we could be harmed, and in all honesty, I don't really care. I mean, of course, I don't want to die. I feel very happy with my life. I want to continue living. But I'm not going to let some hateful person dictate how I live. Yes, it is far riskier for me to be openly trans or even openly a furry. It's not great for my future or my safety, but I do think it is worth something standing up for. It's not the safest time. But I would rather die standing than live kneeling. Who cares? I mean, I'm gonna be safe about it. I'm not going to openly go into a conserved area shouting that I'm trans or put furry on my job application. I'm not gonna be reckless, and I think that is an important distinction to make. But if some right wing nut job wants to murder me for standing up for my rights, go ahead, make me a martyr. I think trans rights, and really human rights in general, are an issue that I am worth quite literally dying on. There's a few reasons why I don't fear death. There's religious reasons, there are moral reasons, there's like personal reasons, and I will go into all of those. So it is definitely a complex issue, but I think the worst thing I can do right now is just lay down, roll over, and let the side of hate win. Now, as I said earlier, being trans is very scary right now. I am a trans girl, and I've experienced so much more hate in this past month of being trans than I have throughout my entire life for being Christian, for being a furry. It's crazy. And I think Christianity is one of the reasons why I'm not scared of death, but it's not a big reason. Now, believing in the existence of heaven, it does sound nice. I believe I'm going to heaven. Woo! Problem solved, right? Even if I'm wrong, if there is no heaven, if it is just nothingness after death, I'm fine with that. I find nothing peaceful. In fact, I might even prefer that. Either way, that part doesn't scare me too much. But I think even regarding that whole part, it's not something I personally fear. I have been fortunate enough to live a very good life. I've been alive for 18 years, almost 19 in January, and I think I've had a lot of success. I've excelled in school, I've gotten some kind of impressive achievements, I've made so many friends. I'm really proud of my friends and the support group that I have. My friends mean the world to me. I would not trade my friends for anything. Out of everything in my life, it is my friends that I'm the most grateful for, and I love them dearly. I feel so fortunate to have met so many good friends and have such a good support group. And I think through friendship, I've been able to make a real difference on people's lives. And I think that's the biggest reason why death isn't scary to me. I've accomplished so much. I've made a difference to some people on an individual level. I think the biggest goal in life is to leave the world a better place. And I can comfortably say that I feel that I've done that. I feel like I've been able to offer some friends some support. I've been able to help some friends through a hard time. They've also helped me through hard times. But I do feel satisfied, and I've felt this way for a few years now. If I were to die right now, I don't think I would have any regrets. Maybe not coming out to my parents yet. I do plan to do that soon. That's the closest thing to a regret I would really have. I think I've accomplished a lot. I feel well educated in a lot of areas for my age. I think I've done pretty good in school, made great friends that have really positively changed my life for the better. And I do feel like I've left a positive impact. Now, there's a lot more I want to do, and there's so much more that needs to be done. I want to make a bigger impact. I want to help other people. I want to fight for my rights. I want to get things in this world done. And if change comes at the cost of my death, that is a price I am willing to pay. I think the world is very, very broken right now. And I think people realize that. And a lot of the recent events are a little hopeful, in all honesty. The results of the election were crushing, but since then I've seen a lot of fight from people in the world. I've seen drive for change. I've seen, honestly, the wake of the death of that healthcare CEO. It's kind of inspiring to see people coming together, acknowledging that everything is really broken right now. And I do think we can make some real change. And I want to contribute to that. I want to make what change I can. I want to flame or add air to the fire. I want to make a difference. I want to protest for my rights. I want to maybe call my representative, see if I can help get a trans bill passed, one that'll help. I want to inspire people to live their life. And I know that will come at the safety of me. It might even come at the happiness of me. Everything does have a cost. And if that cost is my safety, so be it. That's a price I'm willing to pay. I do think if I'm going to die, I'd rather die a martyr for my beliefs. I would rather help others and die for that than sit by idly. And death in general, I don't really think is something to fear. It is the end, and I do think that is scary. Just all the things in your life lead to that final point. Now, whether you believe there is nothing afterwards, or if you believe there is a God or an afterlife, both are kind of a pivotal point. Either everything you do and then you stop existing, or you reach a judgment. And I feel prepared for both. I genuinely believe that I have accomplished a lot more in my life in these 18 years than a lot of other people who are a lot older than me, and I feel grateful for that. I am so lucky, and I've been doing pretty good, all things considered. Now, as far as the concept of death, as I said, I don't think it's something to be feared. It's just the end. And I don't think it's I don't think it has to be sad. You can choose to celebrate someone's life rather than mourn their death. And I do think mourning is important. I'm not saying that you should not mourn. But I do think it is important to acknowledge what that person has accomplished throughout their life. And personally, dying isn't the scariest part of death for me. The thing about death that scares me the most is the concept of the second death. Now, the second death is the last moment when you are named or thought of. At some point, you will be forgotten. Whether that is when humanity collapses and everyone dies, or people just forget your existence. There's going to be a day where no one remembers you. No one says your name. No one sees a picture of you. And that scares me more than dying. Now, maybe I'm a little egotistical for that. Maybe I'm a little selfish. And I think that's true to some extent. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to have a little bit of those. But the concept of being forgotten, the concept of not leaving my mark on the world, the concept of not improving the planet, that scares me more than dying. I don't have a problem with it ending. I do think I'll be able to look back on my life and be proud. I feel like I've done so much, and I plan to do more. But I'm not going to let some disgusting, hateful people drag me down. I'm not going to stop living my life just to survive. Because surviving isn't really living. And change does need to happen. And sometimes we do need to get a little radical about it. And I can't be radical and press for change if I'm just sitting here pretending to be something I'm not. And I do think we are headed in the right direction. It'll take some effort. We're gonna have to claw back. It's gonna take a lot. But I feel confident. And whatever happens, I think I'll be able to stand by how I've lived my life. I think I'll be able to feel good about my choices. And I don't think I'll regret being who I am. So, if you want to try and stop me, be my guest. You're gonna have to put me 6 feet under to stop me. And good luck with that. Because I'm not going to kneel. I'll die standing. Do whatever you want with that. If you want to hate me, do so. If you want to try and kill me, be my guest. I'm not gonna go down easily. I'll go down swinging and fighting for what I believe in. Because I'm not just fighting for myself. I'm fighting for all the other trans people. I'm fighting for all the trans people in the future generations. I'm even fighting for my God. I believe in love. And I believe that's what he teaches us. So I have a lot to fight for, and I don't really have a reason to stop. So be my guest. Try to force me down. It's not going to work. If you want to turn me into a martyr, go for it. I'm going to do my best to spread love and positivity. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to do so to the fullest extent. I don't want to have any regrets. I don't want to think back saying, oh, I wish I just stood up. I don't want to think, if only I had helped try and stop that anti-trans bill from passing. I wish I had stood up for my friend who was facing persecution. I wish I'd done something. I want to look back and say I'm glad I did something. I want to look back and be proud of myself and the life that I've lived. And so far, I feel pretty good about it. I truly believe good will prevail and we will win in the end, but I also think it's up to us on how long that takes. We have to take back control of our lives in the world. We can only do that if we live. Not live in fear, but live. I appreciate you all for listening to me ramble a little bit, and I hope you do well. And I want to encourage all of you. Live your life. I don't think death is something to be feared, but I do think it's something to be cautious of. Don't be reckless. Don't be dangerous. Be smart. But don't live in fear. And thank you. I'll see you all later.